friends, it's Tracy and Violet from Nova Scotia. Nope, it's Tracy and Violet from Tea Time with Tracy and Violet. That's my other channel. Anyways, today is Wednesday. What's the date? The 25th. And I'm going to talk to you about a couple of books. I'm sorry I haven't been on this channel in 5 or 6 days. It's just been a super busy past few days. I know I keep using that as an excuse. It's true. It was one of my daughter's 9th birthday. It was a sleepover, prepping for that, and all just life. But anyways, well, I'll show you her in just a minute. Violet is here. She'll make her appearance, no doubt. I'm outside beside one of the ancient trees I have in my yard. It's humongous, like humongous. But I'm going to talk about books 3 and 4 in the King series by T.M. Frazier. The last video I did was of the first 2 books, and it was called King and then Tyrant. This one is called, is it Soulless? Lawless, then Soulless. And this is about characters that are in the first 2 books, but, well, his name is Bear. And Bear is a character that you'll see throughout the whole King series. But these 2 books pertain specifically to him. But I want to show you the beautiful lady that came outside with me today. It's a heat wave here. And yes, I am wearing black. I know. Some people like, why? Oh, just hold on a minute. Misha's coming out here. Yeah, I want to see if I can get... I don't want it to be so sun in my face. Is that better? That's still sun in my face. Well, I'm outside. What do you expect? Anyways, well, let me show you this girl first. Now, I'm not having tea today. It's too dang hot. And, but I am drinking out of a teacup. Look at this beautiful, beautiful, very elegant lady. Oh, yes. Now, just look at her. You see all the little designs going all over her dress? Violet. And her whole handle here is completely gold. Yeah, and she has a shoulder pad up there. She's lined with gold up at the top and down at the bottom, and the stripes going down is all gold. So, and on the inside, it's not just, it's like that, I don't know what you call it. And get out of here, Hornet. This isn't for you. It's not just like white, it's like the reflective metallic kind of. I don't know what you call it. But, anyways, I think she's beautiful. And then this one. This is her skirt or her pedestal. Beautiful. Beautiful. And this just says Japan B-953. So she came all the way from Japan. Yes. Beautiful. She's having tea with us today. Well, no, she's not having tea. She's having lime carbonated water, because that's what we're drinking today. Not even enough, like, for a teapot. I could drink a teapot full of this, but this is just straight up carbonated water. It's not sweetened or anything, just like with the essence of lime. And yeah, so cheers, guys. Violet's exploring. Oh, delicious. I want to sit semi in the shade. But yes, so the first 2 books I'll just briefly touch on. Has to do with King and Doe, like Jane Doe. King has 2 very best friends, Preppy and Bear. And these are Bear's books. So, but I'm telling you, the whole King series is all related, and you really should read them in order if you're gonna follow it, which I highly recommend. Highly. But, so the first book Yeah, it's Lawless. I read them like back to back, like all, so I get them mixed up. But this breaks on the scene. It shows Bear when he's a child. Now, Bear is the son of the president of this big bad motorcycle club. And it is big, and it is actually bad, currently. Like, his father's a nasty son of a gun. Like, a piece of work, I'm telling you. I'm too much of a lady to really, no, I'm just teasing, but yeah, he's a bad man. A very bad man. But Bear is the son of this very bad man. Now, Bear isn't a bad guy. I mean, he doesn't live by the book, if you know what I'm saying, but he isn't a sinister, murderous, tortury, rapist kind of man at all. But he is certainly a big, bad-looking mofo in the sense that he don't take no guff. You know what I mean? But it breaks on the scene when he's a child, and you get to see the first glimpse of what his childhood was like growing up in a motorcycle club. The mother was used and abused, and non-existent due to no circumstances of her own, if you know what I'm saying. So he's growing up in a motorcycle club that which is corrupt, and with no nurturing and love or anything like that. And he's pretty much, he has a place to live, but he has no support or anything. He's expected to be a man, and he's going to run this club someday and things like that. Anyways, King, Preppy, and Bear, they're the ragtag trio, and they all come from rough and tough backgrounds. But the little scene at the beginning is just, just to give you a flavor of his history. The lady in this story, her name is Thea. I haven't read this for a while. Thea. Well, Thia. Thea. And when she breaks on the scene, it's when she's a child. And she's 10 years old. She goes over to this convenience store or gas station or something like that. And she lives in a really super rural community. Like, really rural. And the lady that owns the shop said, "Oh, darling, you just watch the counter for a minute. I need to go over to the hairdressers and get my hair did." You know what I mean? And it was just that kind of community. So this little 10-year-old's in charge of this gas station, who doesn't know how to use the cash register or anything like this. And that day that she went over to do this, which she had done in the past, and everything was fine, but this one particular day, a bunch of motorcycles pulled up, and a big scary looking motorcycle man comes in and tries to rob the place. And she's a 10-year-old girl, and he hauls out a gun and is threatening her, like, "You don't give me the money, and we gonna kill you," and stuff like that. Or I forget exactly. "Violet, you need to skedaddle. You're gonna knock these guys on their face." Anyways, so this idiot that's in the gas station, like, you're saying this to a little kid, like 10 years old. If, yeah, right. Anyways, a few minutes later, before it escalates, because Thea's obviously panicking, she's like, "I don't know how to use the register," and she's pushing buttons and everything. She doesn't know how to do it. And Bear comes strolling in and knocks this guy upside of the head. What do you think you're doing? I forget what his name is. You jackass. Like, what are you doing? We're the motorcycle club, and we can't go around terrorizing people if you expect to be able to keep on doing what we're doing, especially over piddly change at a gas station with a 10-year-old. I can't even call him a knucklehead. Like, he's an idiot, this guy. And so Bear kicks this guy out of here. "Go wait outside, I'll deal with you later." And so Bear's trying to smooth this over with Thea, and Bear is in his mid-20s at this time. Like, there's an age gap in this book, okay? There seems to be age gaps in all of these books. And so say, I forget now, say Bear is 28 and Thea is 10. Just a ballpark. Well, I know she's 10, but I forget how old he is at the time. But he's trying to smooth it over with this Thea, and he offers to pay her, and he sweet talks her, and he's like, "What are you doing? You know, running this show? Like, what? Who left you in charge of a gas station like that? Now, my friend so and so, he didn't mean anything by it, and we certainly don't need, you know." She's no dimwit either, because she's like, "Oh, you don't want me to tell anybody?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, that's pretty much what I'm coming to." And so she doesn't want any money. She doesn't want, you know, she doesn't want any money because uh, she doesn't know what to do with the money, because it turns out her background is pretty shoddy too. So he ends up giving her a ring, a very special ring that he actually cherishes. But he's like, "You can have this ring and in the future you can call in a favor from me if you ever get in trouble. You need somebody to cover for you, or like for a favor in the future, you just show them this ring and tell them Bear sent you, and it'll be all looked after." It's a motorcycle code of conduct. Like, this is a real thing, which really it wasn't, but she's 10 years old and this is what she's thinking. So fast forward, I think 13 years, and she finds herself in a bit of a tragic pickle, so to speak. Okay, so Thea is an only child. She wasn't for a while, but her younger sibling ended up passing away for a reason, one reason or another. So her mother was never quite the same since her younger brother passed. All right. Her mother's kind of gone insane, like really murderously insane, if you know what I'm saying. So she arrives home one night, and her daddy's nowhere to be seen at first glance. I think you know where I'm going with this. The mother welcomes her home, which is very unusual for Thea. Like, her mother is usually holed up in her younger brother's bedroom that's been the same for years because she doesn't want to change it. And she's saying, "Oh, Thea, good, I was waiting for you to come home. We're going to go be with," I forget what her brother's name is. We'll just call him Scott or something. "We're going to go visit Scott, and we're going to all be together again." And of course, Thea's like, "Well, where's Dad? We need to wait for Dad." And obviously, Thea's clicking in like, my mom's gone crazy. She's there with a shotgun, and she's saying, "We're going to go see my brother who's been, passed away for years." And yeah, things get hairy. Really hairy. Violet, you got something in your hair, hon. What are you doing? What are you doing? Anyways, long story short, she finds herself in quite the predicament, and she doesn't know what to do. And it's so rushed, and so like she's panicking. Like, I don't have anybody. Like, this place is really, it's one of those little tiny communities, which I know about tiny communities, but like that. And she lived way out in the boondocks, like, in the sense, I think her family used to run a orange farm, like oranges or something, but it kind of went belly up because a great big massive corporation, you know how they do, they come and take everything over, and the big highway kind of bypassed their little community, so it just eventually dwindled down. So they were really quite a poor family. She was working, her tail off trying to make money to cover bills. Her dad was trying to work, and her mom was, in no fit condition to do so. But then they had to try to, anyways, she had nobody, because she pretty much had to pull up her bootstraps and hold this family together, because it was falling apart. So after the situation that she's in, she has nobody, and she always kept that ring from 10 years ago on a necklace around her neck. Okay? And she goes searching out Bear, and all she knows is that he's in a motorcycle club, the big motorcycle club, and so she ends up going to this compound looking for Bear. She rolls up in the compound. This compound is like a fortress. Like, they have guards out front and, you know, prospects this and whatever. And of course they don't know no word about this young lady, and she shows up on this doorstep with Bear's ring, and everybody knows it's Bear's ring because they were like, what, you gave your ring away? Like, how could you do that? Years ago. And they recognize Bear's ring, so they bring her into this compound, and Bear's not there, but his father is. Now, in King and Tyrant's book, the first 2 books, you find out a scenario that happens to Bear that, at the beginning of this book, he's not currently at the compound, okay? Good or bad, I'm not going to say, but he's not currently at this compound. And he's not at this compound when she gets there. His father is, and he is, like I say, a piece of work. So I won't get into it, but trigger warnings. There's absolutely sexual assault in this book, attempted rape, and yeah, nasty bugger. Like I say, this man he needs to be picking up his teeth with broken fingers kind of thing, because he is Violet. You can't come around me and then go around up there. Fast forward a bit. I'm not going to give all the details away, but Bear is on the move. He's on a hiatus in the sense that he's fallen down a hole, like into a depression kind of, and just a bender kind of thing. But he's called back because this girl ends up being dropped at King and Doe's house. Just dropped there, sort of thing. And she's holding Bear's ring. And King, being one of Bear's best friends, tracks him down and says, this girl has your ring. Come back here and see what this is about, because she's beat up from the inside out, okay? And that's where their paths cross again since she was 10 years old. And it kind of goes from there. Now, she went to Bear because, again, I said she didn't have anybody, and she really didn't. And the reason why she was in this panic state is, I'm not going to tell you, but it turns out the authorities will be looking for her, and she's broadcasted on the news, like Thea, whatever her name is, her height and looks and picture of her is right on the TV screen, wanted for this. So she really has no place to go. And Bear arrives back to see this girl, and he's like, he doesn't remember her at first until he sees that ring, and all he thinks is, I can't deal with this right now. I can't deal with this. You know what I mean? That was 10 years ago. What the heck? I can't deal with this. But he holds true to his promise that she wants him to take care of a certain thing. And, yeah, turns, I don't want to give it all away, but it turns out there's a lot of things in this book, because it's not just about Thea's predicament. If you read the first 2 books and then go into this, you'll see why Bear was away. You'll see the progression of Bear and the motorcycle crew that he absolutely lives for. However, current circumstances are the things he endured in Tyrant. And yeah. This book has multiple levels of tension, because the relationship between Thea and Bear, the relationship between Bear and his father, the relationship between Preppy, who is a different sort of a character in this book, still Preppy, but I can't get into that. There's a lot of grief that's in this book. Violet, come over here. Come on. And yeah, I just have to say, I don't know if I like these two books better than King and Tyrant. It all depends on my mood. They're all fantastic. The scenes between those two, because between Thea and Bear, are a big part of this book, but it's not all about sex. It's not all about, you know, that sort of thing. There's such a big picture in this, and then it spanned over the whole course of this series. It's just marvelous. It's just marvelous. It really is. Now Bear he's bigger than King, he's bigger than Preppy. He's a great big muscle guy. He's blonde, he has long hair, he has a big beard, he's full of tattoos. He's more tattooed than any of them. And oh, you just want to lick him from top to tail. Well, you know what I'm saying. Like, he's yeah, something. Watch out, Violet. And she's kind of like a country bumpkin in the sense that she's worked this farm all her life and worked this, and she did, you know, no bones about it. She'll tell you like it is. And it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. That's all I want to say, because it's better that you go into it not knowing. I'm just saying there's a lot of levels in this book. Even though, oh, you think, oh, it's a romance. It's a dark romance, 100%. Trigger warnings for assault, age gap if you're not into that, murder, swearing, drugs, alcohol, abuse, and just, yeah, grief. It's just multi-level. So that's all I'll say. I highly recommend it. If you do end up reading these books, please let me know, because I fell in love with T.M. Frazier. I read the first two books, like I read King and Tyrant, and then I ordered the rest of the series. And then I ordered the books that go off of that series that, you know, it has random characters that are in these books. The stories don't really have ties to this book, but the characters all make appearances, and I'm just like, I'm in love. I'm enthralled, really. And yeah, so Lawless and Soulless live up to their name, for sure. So anyways, that's all I'll say about that. It's hot. The bugs are out, and I don't mind the bugs. I don't mind the spiders, the creepy crawlies. They can come hang out with me, but I need to go in and cool off and check on my children. But Violet is keeping an eye out. I have her tied to this, I don't know if you can see, a big orange fishing rope to a giant branch up there. This tree is massive, and I love it. It's a big, wise old maple tree, but I'm Canadian. I'm Nova Scotian. So anyways, with that, I'll say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose. But if not, that's okay too. I still love you. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. And yeah, well, I'll try to get another one up tomorrow. We'll see. The kids, two of my other girls are in camp this week, so I'm going in and out of town, and it's just the way it goes. School starts soon, so I'll be able to get back on track with a lot of things. But yeah, for now, I'll bid you adieu. And yeah, if you're interested in these books or the King and Tyrant books, I'll put the links down below if you're interested. No pressure at all. But just if you're looking for it and don't want to have to look too hard, just click on those links and you can get them there if you want to. So with that, I'm going to say have a good night or have a good morning, and I might see you tomorrow. Bye. Bloop.